Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! Chris Hargreaves, the captain! If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Stills! Here's Hargreaves.
Hello, welcome to this latest episode of the Gull'S Eye View. Our sponsorships ran out, so if anyone wants to sponsor us, let me know. I just nailed the intro as well. But yes, I'm joined by Tom.
Good evening, guys. You're right.
Joined by Chris.
Evening, all. Not feeling a little bit more enthused this week, Sam?
Yeah, no, I'm good. We were just discussing it. I'll introduce Dom in a minute. I'm just discussing how this sort of lighting has gone a bit weird on my Zoom tonight, but I'll be back in the usual setup next week. And then I'm joined by Dom.
Good evening. We're all hyped up, aren't we? Beat this
won a game of
place.
football.
Yeah, whoa.
And before you ask, no, I will not pronounce the name of our hero goalkeeper.
Philip.
So, that's what I'm calling him. So, Torquay have won 2-0 at Havant Waterlooville. Rode our luck at times. But I'll hand it over to Tom, who was there, to talk us through the game.
But can he remember any of it? This is going to be the interesting part.
But I've been like, oh,
I remember we won.
It'll be a Dorrington Albans job again.
Oh, no, it wasn't that
you
bad.
Keep bringing that up.
If we're going on the Dom St. Albans scale, I think I was probably a 4.
Why was you look to? You never forget anything. Pushing this for a narrative forever, you two. Just get on with the report. Stop bothering me.
Well,
go on,
oh, he's rattled already. Excellent. Well, what more could you really ask for, to be honest? You know, we go in playing the bottom side.
You'd be serious. What more could we ask for? A decent team. Anyway, keep going.
He's on one tonight. I love it.
Me.
The actor's on one tonight.
Sorry.
I've lost my track of thought. So, we won the game, which is the bare minimum we had to do. But even then, the first half, I didn't think we were all that great. Haven't missed some really good opportunities. We had some decent chances, but they weren't as clear-cut as the ones that haven't missed. I mean, my goodness me, they should have been 3-4 up at half-time if they could just get someone who could shoot on time.
Yeah, I heard that. Because they've done Ryan Seeger and players like that, haven't they, beforehand? So I thought,
Yeah, you saw that and you thought, oh, great, they've signed, someone who's got a bit of pedigree at this level.
Bit of talent.
But the first half, it just wasn't great, to be honest. But it was encouraging. The new signings impressed. Archie had a really good game. I thought he came more into the second half.
Is he a bit of a raw, exciting player? He'll do some good things, still learning kind of player, or
I thought he had a bit of pace about him. He wasn't afraid to put himself about. I mean, he was changing wings all the time. I mean, it was refreshing to see.
Where did he play, Tom? He played on the wing, did he mainly?
He was on the wing, but I mean, he kept interchanging on the wing. So we were trying to change it up every time. But he was just putting himself about, which was great to see. Thought Williams had a decent game as well. I'm glad he got it off the mark. Had all the space of Havant, he could have stood on it for 10 seconds and still no one would get close to him before he put the ball in the back of the net. And we needed that because, Havant probably had the better of the chances in the first half. And then, I mean, you get Lovett, he goes down.
What
there was a
happened
moment.
With that?
I don't know. It was really weird. He just said he couldn't see. There was one point in the game where he was saying, I can't see what's going on. And we're all shouting, well, go down then if you can't see. But he made it to half time. I mean, it was quite a physical game. Moxie had, an arm in the face, which the referee missed. Shock. But yeah, it was weird. And he came out in the second half. He just didn't look right.
That's the thing, because if I'm honest,
why do these players keep coming out after half time? It's like Marshall last week.
They have to. They're employed. So I think that every time I watch it, why are these 11 here again?
But if they're not right, they're not right.
Especially in goal.
I suppose Pete wants to go off, though, do they? I suppose so. You're not going to.
But it's up to the management, Chris, isn't it? They take the decision.
Well, yeah, it is, but it is. I suppose, especially the keeper, you'd have been nervous about taking him off, wouldn't you? But yeah, if you can't see, it's probably beneficial for some. I don't know.
But then he made it to half time, and he made an excellent stop right at the end of the first half. Literally, for all intents and purposes, all haven't got to do is just put it either side of Lovett, and it's 1-0. And he's made a really good one-to-one save.
He's better away from home, isn't he? He's a weird goalkeeper.
But even then,
every time.
But even then, he looked shaky. He looked, he wasn't the most confident goalkeeper.
No,
I mean,
he's blind. He couldn't do much on that.
He's blind. He can't see what's going on.
But but in all seriousness, because I was following the game loosely, because I thought he's down and he's up, and then when I saw, which we'll get to later, penalty save, I was like, love it. He's made me eat my words, and it was like, oh no, he's not even in goal.
It's not him.
But he came out. He did come out for the second half, and they came out really early. They were a good 5 minutes before Haven't even came out in the second half, so it was clear they had a rollicking. And thankfully, we came out strong. Philippe made a very good save, punched away after he came on in the second half. Philippe, or Dave as we called him, just easier. And thankfully we got a foothold, got the goal, gave away a silly penalty, which I didn't think it was a penalty. It was very, very soft, I thought. And I've seen the highlights.
Was it a push by Collins? Was it or some kind of?
Very slightly. I think the guys leaned in.
Was it?
I think the guys leaned in. But then, that Archer should have had a penalty before that anyway. He had a shove in the back, which went unpunished. So
let's be honest, referees at this level are loving giving penalties against us, aren't they? We're the big club. We're there, one of the big clubs. We're there to be shot at. And
we've had 6 penalties as well, Chris. They're giving penalties like they're going out of fashion in this division.
Was that 4 in the last 6 games we've conceded?
Yeah.
If you're gonna give the haven't one, then you've got to give the one that we should have had that one as well. But thankfully, haven't. Again, you can see why they're bottom of the table. They've just got no confidence in front of goal, and they, did what we did. They left so many gaps at the back, and thank God I'm so delighted for Brad Ash that he got one. Yeah. He's lethal from 1 yard, but he really put himself about on Saturday, and that's a real confidence builder for him. And you could see how much it meant to him, and the players around him. They all went round him, and his first goal since beginning of September.
First league goal since beginning September.
Yeah.
It's a long time, isn't it?
Massive relief for him. But let's not pretend that, Haven't are the best team in this division, because they're not. I fully expect them to be relegated this season. Steve King felt in his post-match interview that, 4-5-1, 5-2 Haven't would have been more effective. I don't particularly agree with that statement. It was 2 poor sides in truth. But we had enough quality about us to get the job done.
I don't know the ins and outs and outsider, how Haven't and Wolves have got there, because they have been around the other end of the table for a while. And obviously they got Steve.
They were mid-table last season, weren't they?
Steve King's done a very good job. Other teams.
Well, he only came in. He's only been there.
Started,
yeah, he's not been there long.
Didn't the guy from Sutton go to Haven't?
Yeah, no, he was at Dowles or something. He was very good there for a while. He went last season, didn't he? Because they had Danny Wright last season, didn't they? And they have
and Jake Andrews.
Yeah, I do wonder if they've maybe overspent. And
yes,
because I think their ambitions
quite a lot at this, any level, but this level, because Billericay did that, and then obviously because it was at Gloucester, Steve King and Dartford, wasn't it? And he got them into the playoffs, Gloucester, but then he left because they went from full time to part time. Or something
they've got
like
a really nice setup at Haven't as well. They've got a
really getting big attendances though, Tom, by the sound of it.
No, I mean there wasn't any.
Was the crowd on Saturday?
I don't know. It wasn't announced. I can't seem to find it anywhere. I think we had about 200 Torquay fans there. I thought it was quite a low turnout, although Portsmouth were playing at home as well. They've got that Portsmouth catchment. So I think any more than 800 is probably being, quite generous, to be honest.
I was shocked when I saw the table. I saw them. Didn't they get to the FA Cup again? Score 2 at Anfield
Liverpool.
in 2008. Yeah.
Ooh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say.
They've only been going
when it's on that.
Yeah, they've only been going since 1998.
I wish.
It's interesting.
I mean, it's a really nice fan base, but it's clear that it's going to be a struggle for them this season. But all you can ask for in that situation is we just come away 3 points. I went in there absolutely bricking it. I thought they're going to beat us. It's going to be a horrible atmosphere. And, the first half wasn't great, but at least we came out in the second half. But again, why can't we do this for 90 minutes? Why have we got...
The fact we grabbed the first goal is key for us, isn't it? As it was last season. If we don't get that, we don't seem to get any points. And came to fruition again, didn't it, in the end? But... First half we just don't seem to command anything first half, do we, Chris? He keeps that in it. We come out nervous. We can't put our foothold on the game properly. We can't come on. But it came good in the end. We'd take a win, won't we? We take the positives on that.
I'll tell you what was refreshing though was we definitely played a bit of football this time.
That's good.
There wasn't.
Both
I mean, there was elements of hoofball.
That's the Johnson ball that we were used to. Yeah. Johnson used to play lovely football.
We moved it around. We finally utilised the wing area for a change, and we'll get on to Stobbs, we'll get on to Collins, but we did put the ball into good areas, just didn't quite get on the end of them as often as we should have done.
I'm not. It's very interesting. I'm not going to sit and defend Johnson because it's his team, his players. But as a part of it, the fact that we've got these new players and they're actually footballers, because I just feel at times that a lot of it is just down to how poor this team is at times, and just having 2 or 3 players, they don't have to be world beaters. Bit of pace to balance the score. We've done this for 2 years now, 3 years actually. It's the 3rd season in a row we've lacked pace since the main one basically.
They also come in with a bit of fresh attitude, don't they? They haven't been
coached down yet.
Haven't been bogged down in our kind of losing sort of.
Yeah, no, they all start like this. To be fair, they still all started like that. Stobbs started.
They're different
like
players, haven't they? Different confidence. That does make a difference, doesn't it?
But as we saw with both the goals, a bit of quality helps, doesn't it? Because Stobbs has become one of the more infuriating players, doesn't he? In that sense, in that he's put balls in like that second goal.
Deflected.
And that's the quality. Doesn't matter. And that's the quality you've got. But time and again, in recent games, certainly I've been at, that we've got into a lot of positions, haven't a lot of Western. You get into a position where you've got in a position to put a good ball in the box, and he gets cut out, or is overhit, or headed away by the first man. And it's just frustrating. You can see he's got the quality. It's just not consistent enough, is it?
I think it's up to us to get into play and get them in the box, get them closer to the goal, because Stobbs is always very wide, and if he can cut in a bit more, and Collins as well, get him in the box, and you can actually create without having to just chuck the ball into the box. Because we haven't got Jarvis, have we? So it's got to be right on the money. So I do think we have to be clever and try and play around teams a little bit. We should be able to do that.
Does highlight it
just doesn't happen enough.
Does highlight the quality, of this division, though. I mean, Havant, Welling, very, very poor sides. In truth, I mean, there was a bit more. I think about. I mean, I didn't see the Welling game, so I can't comment on them. But from what I heard from others, everyone felt that they haven't had a bit more than Welling did.
Welling were appalling on that game,
and Welling were appalling. And yet they're having 10 points from safety already. So if they're gonna come good, it's gonna take a while for them to do it. But it was just a relief that we got a win there, because I think anything less, it would have been very toxic. Not that, I mean, there were moments where it did
wasn't
get a little
Johnson
bit toxic.
Arguing with fans at one point. I saw the photos, but now what's
start of the second half, and I don't really want to go into it because it's
happened.
It was just one of those things. But in the main, the atmosphere was pretty good from the Yellow Army. There wasn't too much anti-Johnson. There wasn't too much anti-owners in that bit. And the atmosphere was pretty good once we did get the first goal.
What is happening, wins always have a football club.
Oh yeah. What I liked about those goals was the fact that they were, when Johnson said it in his interview after the game, didn't they? They're both very Johnson goals, aren't they? There was a lot of rotating of the ball, a lot of moving of the ball, pulling people side to side,
in the box,
pulling them out, pulling some space into the game, and then both the crosses came from because they got that bit of space, and obviously you then freed up those spaces in the penalty area to get beyond the back post and level with it, certainly, to get
part of that's the movement, isn't it? We've got to be better movement as a team. The passing is one thing, but if your movement's not there, we've seen it play well, Chris. We see it so often that where a player gets the ball and they look up, go,
no one
right, who's going to move? Who's going to go?
Brett McGavin.
only worry I'd have Statman Dom is Ashcott booked again, didn't he? He can't be far off now, can he? We'll have to.
Oh, I haven't checked.
But that's that. He can't be far away, can he?
It depends whether all the bookings are in the league. That's the thing. So I'm not quite sure. I'd have to check that.
Can you be booked? Can you get 5 bookings in the league and be banned in the cup? Because they've separated it now, haven't they? Or have they?
I thought it was separated now.
That's what I mean. He might have got 1 in the cup, Chris. So I don't know if it's the total.
Right, so only before,
Yes, it depends.
No,
but
but
no,
that's important for Ash to get that goal. It's really good for Ash to get that goal.
Don't matter how
I told you he'd come good. I told you he'd come good. He's deadly from 1 yard. I told you he'd come good.
He's a good team player, and they like.
He was chasing everything about. He wasn't quite effective in the first half, but second half he was trying to chase onto everything, which was.
He's the sort of player I can get behind because he doesn't.
Absolutely,
I do agree.
Absolutely, yeah. How many goals is that now? Tommy, for your 35, is it 14 now?
15 now.
8 and 6, 9 and 6, 9 and 6,
9, 6, 15.
15 from nearly halfway then. Same job.
Nearly halfway.
6
it's
weeks.
Quite good. It's quite good. This mine and McGavin, isn't it? They're quite even at the moment. It's just been a while since I've had to update that, which is the real one.
They're about halfway though. Both about halfway towards target now, aren't they? So that's good.
What's going
to be back on it next weekend?
But I was starting to think he wouldn't score once. I'm taking every goal like a cup fight.
And
10's not a bad shout though.
Yeah, but Brad had a few moments where he was in good positions and sliced it wide. Like again, you need a goal any way you can. So I'm delighted for him, and that was just
stop snatching what you would now.
Yeah, just stop snatching and just get
back to how it was in pre-season. People can say it's pre-season, but it's still competitive football. So. And
putting the standard of having, to one side, you look at Archer, Theo Williams. I like them as players, and they're exciting players. And once you get a few more back from injury, that's a good foundation there, I think. And of course, injuries are playing a part this season. But again, we've all said recruitment's been very poor this season, but it looks as now the last couple of signings have been really good, and thank God we got Felipe on loan because he did really well as well. A really good penalty save. I said in the talking points, I find when you have Halstead in goal for a penalty, he dives too early.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He stood firm. He dived a little bit the wrong way, but managed to get his hands there. So, and I
just like his personality, just like everything about it, commanding, like the way Swanee Senior picked up on it, the way he got his players to concentrate straight away. You need that character. And if you go on the tweet that he put when he got to the final with Sutton, when he was like, I was homeless 8 years ago and now I'm at Wembley.
Yeah, I read that.
I'm not saying every player has to have a backstory like that, but just a bit of character. What have we? It was
a bit of inspiration to the rest
of the squad. Just a bit of
inspiration,
a bit of a character, a bit of a difference. I think get those characters in, like Ethan Archer, even coming from the lower level. Get a bit of that into the squad.
Something
not these players tired and that. Give Johnson something else to manage.
I think it's that I find fascinating as well about lower league football, in that players are that much more accessible, both from a supporter perspective and kind of when you're at games. But those sorts of stories where actually, because you don't hear about, if you support just a Premier League club and you go and watch Man United every week or whatever, you don't hear those sorts of stories of people who were homeless and didn't have a job, and to kind of being professional footballers. You kind of down the years you kind of got stories like that. And I was thinking when I watched that, there's been a couple of interviews with Archer, haven't there, on the website this week, and I was thinking, hell of a move for a lad like him to come from London, where he's obviously not full-time footballer, but it's
just one chance, isn't it?
Yeah,
full-time footballer, exactly. So actually, again, a bit like when someone like Dan Sparks, when he joined us, who gave up a massive career as a teacher, didn't he, to come and join us.
People who are on their way up and they're youngsters.
I prefer that.
Still brave, isn't it?
I still prefer that than someone who's coming down, and if they don't have the right mentality, is coming down out of the academy and they're still not quite had to think, Christ, I'm still a professional footballer, I've been in an academy. You're someone who's grafted and been like, right, no, it's my one chance, get in. It doesn't always
someone
work.
Like Ash as well.
Ash,
because I don't know, but I'm guessing Ash would have had a job, wouldn't he?
Exactly. It doesn't always work, but get them in.
The ambition of the club is still the same: promotion, getting back into the National League. That's an exciting prospect, and
it's still a great club to play for those sort of players. Fantastic.
You look at recent seasons. We've looked at potentially better players from worse clubs in the same division. Ryan Hansen being one. Sorry, Chris.
Unfortunately, their players are on their way down, but we've gone down with them.
I think it's interesting as well.
On their way up. That's the difference.
When you hear the players talk about the lodge as well. And he talked again, didn't he, in that interview with Don Me on the website last week. It is genius. And what I like about it as well is that when people talk about it, you don't get the impression it's talk forced, because he said to me, staying in the lodge, and straight away it was, it's great. Some of the lads are there, they welcome me really. It's not forced, it all feels very natural. So it must be, a lot of young lads together away from home, certainly in his case. So it must be a good atmosphere to be in amongst your teammates to kind of.
Well, somebody
get to
like
know
Collins
people.
is coming down the divisions, isn't he? And it's has he got that motivation and hunger, isn't he? Because he's stepping down.
Go on then, Tommy.
I'm glad you brought Collins up.
You were critical about him, weren't you, Tom?
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with Collins. He should be bossing this level, and just any position you put him in this season, he's just not delivering the goods.
Mm.
Did he play further forward on Saturday, down the middle?
No,
he was out wide again.
No, he was kind of changing again out wide, but just any position he was in, he was just either. I didn't really notice him for large periods. And when you did, he was giving the ball away, and I don't know if he's suited to be out on the wing. I really don't. I mean, we went back to 3-5-2 on Saturday, which often spells disaster, but thankfully, we made it work for a change and on plastic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Collins was one of the most exciting signings I thought in the summer. I thought
he had some real good games towards the end of last season, didn't he? He had some real good games.
It's just not happening for him. And, I think he's like Ash. He's definitely a confidence player. But I just don't know where his best position is, lads. Is he suited off as a number 10? Is he better off just holding back behind the main striker? I just don't know. But
I think his best option this year was playing off Jarvis, maybe a free up top, because I don't think he's a winger. He's not a proper striker. He's kind of in between, isn't he? He's not particularly skillful, but he could make something happen and score if he gets in the box. But
I mean,
he's languishing outside the box all the time, and he's cutting in. He's not clever enough to play in the midfield because his touch and he's just stuck in.
I liked him on the right side of the two striker partnership when he first started with us.
I thought he'd have confidence after about 5 or 6 games. So now we're 16, 17 games in or whatever. It's only going to get worse, isn't it? Because he's ultimately a forward and he hasn't scored a goal. Yeah. And has he looked like scoring a goal? Has he been missing chances like Ash has?
No.
I
can't immediately think of one.
I can't think of a chance he's got.
Stones has been inconsistent, but he's a right wing. We know what he is. He plays right wing. He plays right wing. He'll do a job, won't he? It won't be
at least with Stobbs, he can find that good cross into the box.
Yeah.
More often than not. He might give it away, on a few occasions, but Collins, every time he's on the ball and you're
nervous watching him now. He was one of my favourite players last season.
And it's a shame because I had really high hopes for him. But Stobbs and Collins, I was like, they're going to boss this division. They're going to absolutely boss it this year, and they just haven't.
That is down to the manager a bit, though, I'm afraid. Your manager's got to get the best out of your players, and we know he's not bad.
I think he's the classic. He needs one to go off his arse, doesn't he? He just needs a bit of luck in front of goal, something to go his way, and it all just flood back. As soon as you get that confidence back again, it might just be what he needs. So hopefully.
I'd like to see him get in that 6-yard area a bit, Chris.
Absolutely.
Just go in there, take a chance. Get in there.
I've noticed several times, Dom, on that. If you watch him at corners, a few times he'll come short for corners, and he ends up 40 yards out. Yeah. Well, hang on a minute. He wears number 10. He's one of your forward players. He's got to get in the box. He
can whip in the odd good cross right thing, can't he? But that's all he's pretty much done all season. He hasn't really done much else. That's the trouble. It's been a one trip only.
Does he get dropped in the near future if he doesn't continue to put
the
in?
There's no one else at the moment. But
Archer was really good. These young talents who are coming in, and I say you can probably give an opportunity to somewhat unknown players a bit further down at this level and get away with it to an extent that you maybe wouldn't.
I like to see those signings.
League.
Personally, I like to see those signings. Not a Sean Finch type signing. That's probably a little bit too far, but I like to see. Those sort of lads are people you want to see. Good. I was surprised to see him chucked in from the start, to be honest, because he didn't get off the bench in midweek, did he? But I like to see those sorts of signings because it's interesting when Gary likened him to Kalala. I was like, ooh. Because Kalala is one of the most exciting players I've watched in the Torquay shirt in 25 odd years. Hopefully that will be, if he's half as good as Kalala, he's in the shirt, isn't he?
But lovely. It was lovely to see him all celebrate at full time, especially with the goalkeeper as well. He was lapping it up, really fantastic. And his ultimate aim really is just to put himself in the shop window and find a club. Because once Halstead's back fit, you would imagine.
We're paying Sadie as much as I'd like to see him have a run of games now. We're paying for 3 keepers unless we can get Love out on loan. Then
Halstead will be back next week, I guess. But
Halstead's been off form the last 2 games. You know what I mean? And Lovett's.
I'd rather still have Halstead in there though.
Yeah, he's our paid keeper though, isn't he?
Comes straight when he's fit.
Halstead's still great, but
he must have had a fair thump though, because he's been out for. I know he's had concussion protocols, but He's been out for what's that? 14 more than 14 days, though, isn't it? Actually, the concussion protocol actually. So he's done 14 weeks because it spanned 3 games.
Well, you can only assume that Lovett's going to be out for the same period then if he's concussed, because that was another thing. He just didn't know where he was again. But somehow
and of course, Archer's cup tied at the weekend, isn't he? So that's not good for him. But save it up for that.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on episode 1. Episode 2, we haven't got loads and loads of questions this week, but we'll make something in Kelly's corner. But yeah, thank you for joining episode 1, and we'll see you then.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Stills. Here's Hargreaves, chance for